Gamma baby. Those have got to be the new hole shots, aren't they?
I think so, Ryan. I wasn't looking at them that close, but either that or an old set of parks.
They cut such a different profile.
Yeah.
Including the next winner here at Quillen is the band.
This was the light pro stock Thursday night. Before the rain, the last light pro went down the track in Toma, then the rain just let loose from the heavens. There it is from the horse's mouth.
Thanks, Colin.
Hey, babe. Just wave right in the room.
Oh.
Hi.
Where? Camera
That camera right there.
Camera one. Okay. Hi. Sorry.
Paul and Big Rice said hi.
You're good?
Yeah, I got water.
Can you clap?
I don't need to drink. I drank enough this weekend.
Can you clap? Yay.
No, I'm good, babe. Toma's an amazing place, guys.
Leroy, you already taught her to make tractor noises. Good for you.
I know it. She says tratter.
That's
that's
dad
what
of
they
the
see
year.
on the
That's
TikTok.
dad of the year stuff right there.
I gotta find my Burkholz videos, guys, real quick here.
No kidding. Mr. I won the weekend.
He would have got like the ring, right? This is me sucking up the hearts. There's Shag Nasty.
Is that Dustin or is that Eccles driving?
Yeah, it's Dustin. This is Thursday night. I got video of Burkholz. Where in the heck is it?
Shag Nasty, your Saturday night winner at Fort Recovery, Ohio.
Yeah. Hey, while I'm looking for a Burkholz video, what happened with the fuel? What happened with the fuel in Tomo in the light pro stock class? What'd you guys hear?
Don't you read pull off?
I don't actually. I don't believe most of it.
So there was a couple of tractors that apparently didn't pass some fuel test
Okay.
in the light pro
Yeah,
class. And there's
Ryan
a conspiracy.
forgot to switch his fuel.
Yeah, there's a conspiracy out there, but we won't get into that.
There's Quillen's back here, real quick. I'll look for Burkholz's video later, but here's Taylor Van Beek Friday night in his garage. This is a good video, guys.
This tractor got the best of him, I believe so.
Well, I gotta be careful with the music, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Oh, I see downshifted a gear.
Yeah.
So here it is in slow motion, guys. We gotta watch this one more time.
You got a little too much grip on them tires.
Well, he's a tire cutter, guys. He's my sponsor. He's my sponsor.
Well,
Here we go.
he's got hole shots.
Oh, love my job. Love my job. Love my job. Love my job. Guys, welcome to Let's Grow Points Monday, June 28th. I can't believe June is done already. I'm Jason Schultz with the Beer Money Pulling Team. This show is sponsored every Monday night by the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pullers. Top right up there, Clint Tucker calls this show Hollywood Squares. We talked about that at 3 in the morning. We got Paul Romack up there in the top middle, Leroy Schluter in the top right, Brad Stoll from the NWMTPA. That sounds like a professional wrestling organization, but it's actually the Northwest Missouri Tractor Pulling Association. But if you were a wrestler, what would your wrestling name be? Big Sexy, or what do we got going on there, Stoll?
He's Big Sexy because I already know a guy named that. We gave him that nickname a long time ago. I don't know. Old and slow? I'm not really that old. I'm just slow. So, slow-mo? I don't know.
No, that's fine. I'm just picking on you. In the middle there, we got our very own Big Rye, or Ryan Rusink, formerly known as Big Rye. Ryan Zolik must be, he's with us, but not in picture. He must have had a rough Toma weekend. And on the bottom there, the only square on the bottom row, Ryan Quillen from Rushville, Illinois. And I'm going to let Leroy talk with him about Rushville, Illinois, coming up this Thursday, July 1st, this Thursday. I have the website up here, the Schuyler County Fair, and Leroy's got his assistants with him tonight. So SCHUYELY.
Yep, Schuyler County Fair. The fair's going on right now, but the ITPA, the Illinois Tractor Pulling Association event, is this Thursday night, July 1st, and we're going to have 5 classes: 5,800-pound modified to 6,200-pound two-wheel drive trucks, 8,500-pound limited pro stocks, 95 pro farms, and then the 4-1s. So, Schultz, if you had the Remedy put together, you would be able to put the Remedy at the Schuyler County Fair in Rushville on Thursday night, but we know that's not going to happen.
I would tell you right now, I would be there if I could. Trust me, I'm ready to go pulling anywhere right now. Even Illinois, Leroy, even Illinois.
But the reason we brought Ryan Quillen on, Ryan, you can hear us all right? Correct? Ryan, are you good?
Ryan, can you hear us okay, buddy?
He's muted.
Well, are you muted, Ryan? Ryan, you got to unmute your mic.
I can unmute him.
Jason,
Okay.
I was going to say.
I can't. He did it himself.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There's
Ryan,
a
you're
mute
muted,
button.
but I'll take your thunder here if Jason can put up some pictures. Every year, well, we didn't do it last year because of COVID, but every year Ryan puts together a toy tractor and they raffle it off for a benefit. The benefit every year, it's Hope Bloom's organization. It provides financial assistance to cancer patients in the Schuyler County, Brown County, Cass, Fulton, and McDonough counties. And the cancer patients are eligible to receive $2,500 a year to help with travel expenses for their treatments, medical bills that are not covered by insurance, or wigs or prosthetics. And so this year, he put together the Ratterman Brothers tractor. You can see it there on the screen, the full bore, and beautiful tractor. If you want tickets, you can buy 3 tickets in advance for $20. Let's see here. I think it's maybe $10 for 1 ticket and $20 for 3 tickets. Yeah, right there it is.
Yeah, 1 for 10, 3 for 20, Leroy.
3 for 20, exactly. And then, so last year we didn't have a pull there because of COVID, but the year before he put together Chad Russell's Shoot the Thrill tractor. I think Ryan, there you are. He's got a couple pictures that are sitting side by side. And so he does a beautiful job on these. I think he has Justin Stuckenschneider provide him with some parts. And as you can see, does a nice job here. But anyway, we're going to raffle that off this Thursday night at the tractor pull at the ITPA tractor pull. And let's see, I believe we start at 7 o'clock on Thursday. Let me look. Yep, 7 p.m. is the start. So,
Leroy, do you know what classes you're in? Ryan's unmuted, but we're struggling with his internet a little bit.
okay, once again, the classes, the light mods, the 5,800-pound modifieds, the 6,200-pound two-wheel drive trucks, the 85 limited pro stocks, 95 pro farm, and then the 4-1s, the 9,500-pound limited pro stocks. Those are the 5 classes that we're pulling Thursday night in Rushville.
Ryan, can you hear us now, bud? Ryan Quillen? Yeah, he looks good on camera, guys, but we cannot get him to talk.
Yes,
I don't know what's
the
going on.
signal.
Yeah.
They're kind of out there at Rushville, Illinois, where they kind of have to pipe in sunlight. So they're out there, may not have very good internet signal, but Ryan and his brother Steve are kind of the co-promoters of that fair. And it's always a good time. It's always a great turnout, always good tractor count. It's always an awesome track. They've got a fairly new grandstand that's about maybe 3 or 4 years old that they had an anonymous donor throw a buttload of cash at them. And it may be one of the nicest grandstands at any county fair in the state of Illinois. So
It looks really new, Leroy.
yes, it's very nice. So
Like
but anyway, that's what we're doing Thursday night. So
Like there it is.
there you go. Yes. Very nice facility.
I don't know who that is, but she's pretty. That's Sierra. So there's pulling track.
Yeah, there's pulling track. There's the cupola up there, the announcer stand up there on top.
Leroy, how come you have all the best announcer stands, like with air conditioning way up high? And I gotta see what's going on here. Kind of a big deal.
Okay, well, truth be known, here they've got a local guy from a radio station up there in the cupola, and I work the stands, or I work the track. I'm out on the track with a cordless mic. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, that's fair.
yeah. So anyway, that's what we're doing, and then that's our only ITPA hook for this week. And then the following week, we're in Fisher, Illinois, Fisher Community Fair on Wednesday, July 7th. And then we've got one July 9th in Penfield at the I&I Historic Farm Days. I actually won't be in Penfield. I'm going to be going out to Rock Valley, Iowa for Thunder in the Valley out there for Friday and Saturday. And then early Sunday morning of July 11th, I'll be getting up and driving to Jacksonville, Illinois for the Morgan County Fair for 6 o'clock that Sunday night. So
Awesome.
there it right there. That is where that picture you showed. That was Chad Russell right there pulling Dave Hager's old Ironside sled there at the Schuyler County Fair.
Yeah, it looks like a big crowd, Leroy. That's exciting to see.
Yeah, they always have a great crowd. Unfortunately, of course, last year canceled because of COVID. 2 years ago, it started pouring. We got one tractor pulled and it started pouring, and they ended up getting about 3 inches of rain in 2 hours. It was a mess. So hopefully we got good weather this year. I know the weather doesn't look very favorable, but Ryan and Steve assured me that we will be pulling this year. So
One way or the other.
the forecast is going to change to their favor. So don't look on
I hope so.
AccuWeather or anything like that.
I heard Ryan talk. I heard him talk for a little bit, guys. So
Ryan,
Ryan,
thanks
can
for
you
joining us anyway. You know that.
I can hear you guys, but the signal's not very good.
well, go ahead. You sound really good, Ryan. So just talk for a little bit about the event, what's got going on, and then we'll let you and Leroy go. Okay.
Okay. Well, I sure appreciate you having me on the show, and we're looking forward to hearing the tractor full and having some fun for a change.
Agreed. Well, Leroy did a nice job of recapping everything. If anybody has any questions, it's Schuyler County, and it's SCHUYLER. And I put that in the comments now multiple times. And you can go to their website. Is that what you said, Leroy, and to buy the tickets, right, bud?
Yeah, I believe you can get the tickets right there on their website for the raffle, and they're also going to be selling tickets right there that night of the fair. Also, I always buy the losing ticket. I always buy $20. I always take a $20 bill and buy 3 tickets. So I'll have 3 of the losing tickets anyway, but it goes to a great cause.
Yeah, here, I found it on the website. So I'm going to buy some tickets tonight after the show here. I need more toys in my collection there. But that's what their website looks like, guys. Off to the right of Ryan, you click on the tractor raffle, and then bang. So pay right here through the PayPal. So everybody has a credit card nowadays, so we should be good to go with that. So, well, cool. Leroy, thanks for jumping on tonight. We'll let Ryan go. And I know you got to get going, take care of the kiddos, but I appreciate you coming on. Ryan, it's great to
Okay.
see your face, and good luck in Rushville this Thursday,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yep.
All right,
Thank
I'm going
you.
to log off too, guys.
Thank you.
All right, see you
You
guys.
guys.
See you, Leroy.
Yep.
Brad, Stoll, talk to me, sir. Got to unmute him. There we go. Unmute yourself, Brad. Push the unmute button on your thingy.
There, is that better?
Yeah,
Perfect.
Good. How you guys doing tonight?
good, bud. Hey, thanks for coming on. I'm going to start
man.
looking up some Northwest Missouri stuff, start sharing on the screen, but go ahead and start talking about some upcoming polls that you guys have going on and whatever you and Roos want to talk about, okay?
We actually got a lot of polls coming up soon. Actually, we got 5 polls in 10 days coming up. I'm going to list them off here real quick, and then we'll go and get in depth about the ones coming up here this weekend, 4th of July weekend. So we have BJ, Burlington Junction, this Friday night. After that, Saturday, we've got Clearfield, Iowa, and then Newmarket, Iowa on the 4th. So then the very next weekend, we got Chillicothe and Mount Ayr, Iowa. So a lot of polls coming up here pretty quick. This sweep we got starting Friday is kind of one of our bigger shows, I guess you could say. It's Burlington Junction, Missouri. I got a little flyer here to remind myself everything, but starting at 6:30, Burlington Junction, $10 admission to get in, so it's pretty cheap to get in. Kids 12 and under free, so bring the family, have fun. It's a lot of good food, a lot of fun times. So I don't know. I can go through a list of classes of everybody. Looks like you've got it pulled up right there, but there have been some ads, I believe, to Burlington Junction and Clearfield, so I'll go through those. But there's going to be 13 classes, 12 or 13 classes at Burlington Junction.
Holy, how many tracks do you have, Brad? Like 7?
One track.
What?
These guys, Burlington Junction has been, what's it say? This is the 43rd year they've had a tractor pull with us. So they kind of know how to roll right through. But they got non-turbo class, 10.5 super field, 6,200 pro streets, 6,000 hot rod class, which actually is somewhat different this year. We allow the light pro fields to jump up into that class now. We got 13 mile an hour pro farm class, unlimited open, which I was told there's a good chance of some pro stocks showing up, both outlaw pro stocks and possibly even some NTPA pro stocks. So we'll see what shows of that. But we also have the 9,000 P pump class, which would be your with basically following the PPL rules there. As far as their 9,500, I think they call it 9,500 pro field class or pro farm class, one of the two. We have the 2.6 diesels, A pumps, which is basically just a knockoff of our 9,000 P pumps, just a little bit smaller. We'll be having pro stock 4x4s, 4-1 limited pro stocks. If you know anybody that's got a tractor that's running, that is.
Oh, that was a cheap shot.
8,500 limited pros and the 3.0 diesel pickups. So there's a full lineup coming on the 2nd of July here at BJ, Burlington Junction. So
What time does that start?
that is a 6:30 start time.
And you're going to run 13 classes, you say?
I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what I've got. 13 classes.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, 13 of them. So it might be a little bit of a longer night, but no, they really do. They do a good job of moving things through. You'd be surprised with their track crew. I mean, they it's no more than the sled gets back. We're hooked up and going again. So it should be a fun time there. The next poll, which is on the 3rd, Clearfield, Iowa. I think Big Rye's been there before. Shot some really good photos there.
Many times.
Yes. They've got quite a few less classes, but still a lot of the big ones, including the P-Pump, Limited Pro, 3.0 diesel pickups, I believe even maybe, and then the Unlimited Open. So, but one thing I did want to hit on while I was on here with you guys is they've had it Burlington Junction, Clearfield, and Newmarket have all combined together since it's a 3-day, back to back to back. We have added a sweep. They've decided to do a sweep over the weekend, basically. Winner take top 5, I think, get a payment on that. But they've combined a $1,500 purse just on you just added money on top of what you're going to get, at each tractor pull. So for the 9,000 Pro Field P pumps and the 8,500 limited Pro stocks. So
that's awesome, Brad. I like it when promoters get together like that and kind of make it like a sweep. It makes it worthwhile for everybody. It's kind of, it adds a little bit to it, kind of like the Bowling Green ring and different things like that. It's kind of neat.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And one thing that I might mention, I don't know if it get you working a little bit harder on your tractor or not, but I know at Burlington Junction, we have the 4-1 limited pro stock class. It's it's a really good class around the Midwest. I don't know if you've ever heard of it there, Jason, but there's some high hitters around this area. And they've added some show up money to that. So now let me rephrase that. You actually have to be able to get it onto the track and hook up. So because I know what would happen there. Jason's going to show up $100 for beer, but no, it's a good time, and they've got a lot of money going out to pullers at that Burlington Junction show. I think they've put a bounty on any pro stocks that show up, getting $250 immediately show up money. So just for showing up. So we're wanting to get the pullers there, and we're hoping it's a big time, big crowd, and keep the rain off a little bit longer here. So.
Hey, Brad, have you heard of any light pros that are going to make the journey?
I haven't. I've talked to Rich before. We have not talked this week yet. Honestly, I don't know. Back in when light pros first, kind of came on the scene here in the Midwest, they kind of combined those in the 4-1s, I believe. And I don't know how that would work at Burlington Junction because there's really not a class for the light pros. Because if I was to throw them into the unlimited open with the pro stocks, it wouldn't look good. So I don't really know, but I know that if Shag Nasty want to show up, I'm pretty sure there'd be a lot of fun and some good time. I think we'd make it worth it for him. So.
Wonder if we could get Hopkins or Richardson to come out.
Oh yeah. It'd be worth a call, definitely. I mean, they're willing to pay the pros to show up, especially the guys that's got to travel from Hopkins to Burlington Junction. Shoot, it's got to be 2.5-3 hours, doesn't it?
I would think.
So, yeah, I mean, that'd be definitely something to look into, I think. So, even Grimes down there, Sturtsville. So, get them.
I wonder if Grimes are out from underwater yet.
I actually, my home base for my work down here at Ag Power, 36 was shut off there for about 3 days, 2-3 days there for water. So, but I think they live high enough on a hill. We'll be able to get them rolling through. And I think 36 opened up early Sunday. So I think we can get them maybe up there if we can get a class made up for them or something along those lines. So
I would be willing to bet that Chad Richardson will be on the lake this weekend.
Yeah.
Actually, I think you're right because I talked to him on Friday, and I know that was his plan for this past weekend, and I think he had plans for next weekend too. I can't necessarily say I blame him.
I know if I had a tractor that was running, I'd go. I'm just saying, but I don't.
The lake, you mean, or?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Go to the lake. Yes.
Yeah.
My tractor.
Yeah. It's awfully pretty tractor to not have a motor in it.
Yeah, no, it looks great. Brad, we got shirts, we got banners, we got feathers, we got everything but a motor. So I mean, it's we're almost there, buddy. We're almost there.
Good. I miss seeing that tractor going down the track. So
me too. I can't wait.
Let's see. I don't know if I can talk anymore about the. Newmarket usually puts on a clear. We talked about Clearfield a little bit. Newmarket, a little bit about them. They've got a parade going literally right before the tractor pull. It's a Sunday afternoon pull. It starts like 1 o'clock, I think. And if you've never been to Newmarket, it is an experience. Not only the track, but the atmosphere. Everybody sits on a big hill. We don't have the fancy the fancy seating like that what you showed out there in Illinois, but we have a good time, a lot of good vendors out there, and it's a good atmosphere to pull in. So,
and I would say the same for Clearfield. Everybody brings their lawn chairs, and That, if I remember right, there's no admission there, right?
I don't remember there. I really don't. I'd have to look it up, but no, for being in literally the middle of Iowa, nowhere Iowa, they draw a crowd like you would not believe.
Yes,
So
they
and
do.
they stay the whole night.
Yep.
So it's both those pools in Iowa this weekend are going to be, it's just the atmosphere is cool. And as a puller myself, one thing that it's pretty cool whenever you're, even whether you do good, bad, ugly, it doesn't matter. There's always people cheering for you, you don't get that at a lot of pools, but up there in Iowa, I tell you, they love their pulling and they support you. So.
Yep. Clearfield is kind of like the ultimate, for me anyway, it's kind of the ultimate hometown pull. Kind of
Yes.
even, you walk in, you feel like you're at home.
Yes, absolutely.
So how's your season going?
Next question.
Yeah.
No, we started out hot on the Gambler. We've got two of them that we run all summer, the Gambler and Red Majesty. The Gambler started out hot, and and I've done a horrible job of driving, to be honest with you. What did we do? We picked up a second in Tipton, and then we got a first over down there at Bramer, one of our very first Northwest pool. And since then, I don't know that I think I haven't broke the top 5 yet. So we went down to Paris, Missouri for the PPL event. That was cool. Never been down there before, so it was an experience. Learned a little bit, learned a lot. But Dad ended up actually picking up second place there, and actually I think he was in the top 3 at Princeton also. So as a team, we're doing really good. Individually, we both can't really come together and finish the event outside of Bramer. Him and I, my dad and I both finished first and second. I think I got him by 3 inches that night, so that's pretty cool.
Nice. Hey, I have a question I've always wanted to ask you. How did Red Majesty get its name? Your dad doesn't seem like a card player.
No. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how the name came, but my dad has had that name picked out since I started pulling. I started pulling whenever I was 8, indoor pulling antique tractors. Columbia, Missouri was my first one, and I remember at that pull, he told me whenever he had the tractor of his dreams, he was going to name it Red Majesty, and I still to this day don't know where he came up with it or why. But and actually, the Gambler, it has nothing to do with the song.
You are full of lies. I've gotten
not
so
kidding
many
you.
Snapchats from you with that song on.
The song makes sense with the tractor, but that's not where it came from. That tractor started pulling in 1968. If you can look up the song, I think it was a little after that.
It was.
No, my grandpa bought that tractor, the Gambler, brand new in 1966, and it's been on the track since 68. They, back then they drove to all the local pulls. So it's pulled on concrete, asphalt, dirt, you name it. So
that's what I thought. I knew that tractor had a long history.
It's been around a little bit, quite a bit longer than me. So, but no, it kind of, it went through its ups and downs through the years. It was pretty hot back in the day. And then they went, I think Northwest came out with a class called a heavy non-turbo class, what it was. Pulled that for a while, and then I got old enough to where I could start driving it. Went to 13 mile an hour, and then A pump, and then up the ranks to P pump, and now we play around in P pump in that light limited pro stock class. So,
when's the last time Grandpa drove it?
Last year, Stanbury, and
did he?
And I think he hurt some feelings there too. So he he always likes pulling that 85 limited pro, and I think he somehow managed to walk out of Stanbury with a 3rd place. So.
Attaboy, Grandpa.
So he's pretty proud. That was a pretty good pull for him. So I'm hoping to get him on it this year. Fingers crossed. I think he's 80. He'll be 81, 82 this year. So he still loves it. Still goes to all of them. But being in a fire suit, I think, is kind of wearing on him a little bit. So
I imagine so.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to ask you the question I ask every other guest. If you could drive anything for a weekend, steal the keys to some competition vehicle, what would you drive, and where would you drive it? And Toma and Bowling Green and Farm Show are all out. Can't answer those.
Oh my. Oh boy. Ooh, that's tough. I don't know. There's three tractors that come to my head immediately that I watched growing up that I always wanted to ride on. And you can make four, really quick on that. But, Cody Shays Pro Stock, Skirt Mazes. I'm kind of in love with that Pro Stock class. So, any three of those, Robbie Russell's Pro Stock. I remember watching, seeing pictures and recently some videos of him pulling back in the day. I really liked watching those. As far as where,
Come on, give me a track that nobody knows but you've pulled on all your life. A track that you really love that's been good to you.
One that's been good to me. Well, Burlington Junction comes to mind pretty quick because I've been pulling on it since I started. Stanberry. We have a pretty big pull later in the fall at Stanberry. If I could pull, one of those Pro Stocks in the hometown pull, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Can't blame you.
So,
well, at least you got the classes right, or the class right.
Yeah, I mean, really, I just love pulling. I can pull a non-turbo all day long as I'm pulling, So it's kind of, I grew up with it, and it's in my blood, I guess.
And Paul, you can't give him grief because I happen to know that he's got orange in his pasture right now.
That's good.
You're right. You're 100% right, Rusnick.
Is it a 185 or a 195?
It's right there.
There it is.
Yep. Well, 180 Alice. You bet.
There you go.
Some of the best steering tractors out there.
I get a lot of crap. I work for John Deere, and I mess around on our sheep farm with orange stuff and I pull red stuff. So that might be the definition of Ken Summers colorblind, I guess. So
I think that's true.
I love it. Well, Brad, good luck this weekend. Thank you for coming on the show. Send me, if you ever get any posters, just send them to us on the Facebook page. Give them to Rusink, and he'll get them shared out on Beer Money for you. Okay, bud?
Sounds good. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
I'll see you Friday, Brad.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, don't forget that brisket you owe me.
I will check the ads for you.
We'll see you, buddy. Stay safe.
He just made Jer's day.
Yeah.
Look at this. Well, we're going to bring up the little red hooker. I got a video ready of our famous little, we call it a diesel mini rod. Is that what we call it, guys? I can't remember.
I think that's what we started calling it.
Let's, got to make the video bigger here. There we go. Here are Jer's comments. Brand, let's see here. Banners. Brad was a good interview. Thank you, Roos. So.
Brad's a good friend.
You better watch that again. That's pretty cool. More, can you hear us? Kevin, can you hear us? Kevin Moore, hello.
I think they're going to have to get closer to the phone.
There he is. Kevin. Kevin, can you hear us?
To put boobs on the camera. You know that, right?
He wanted to put his little red hooker boobies up there.
Right. And now we've offended him and he's gone away.
Well then.
Awesome.
Why'd you do that? We just got him on the show.
Oh, there goes the wife.
There's Corey. Corey's supposed to be in charge of this operation tonight. That's all I'm going to say. So. This is what happens when you put tractor pullers on the Facebook, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed with Brad Stoll. Clear picture, good internet, all the way down there in Missouri. I was impressed.
Yeah.
Right.
We have someone watching from Preston Beach, Australia right now.
Seriously?
Catherine McKenzie. Hello from Preston Beach, Australia.
Holy cow. That's pretty cool. Did you guys see this winner's video that Zoe put together? Oh, this is the Badger State one. Or this is Bear League. If you haven't seen those yet, go to Badger State Tractor Pullers and check out Zolik's winner videos. They are top notch.
Damn.
Kevin Moore. Hello, Kevin Moore. That's his shop. I've been there.
It's a nice.
Hey,
grill.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a minute. Got to get the camera turned around here.
Holding on.
Holding on. They're better promoters than they are camera runners. That's all I'm going to say.
Really nice.
What's that deal? Why is Jerry in love with you, Paul? Can you talk about that?
I don't know. He saw me pull one out of my ass at Nashville to get a tractor on the track, I think.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
All right, here we go. Here's the two guys that are behind this pull in Oquawka, Illinois, July 3rd.
Yeah. Well, tell us about this pull in Oquawka, Illinois, Kevin.
Well, this started this is the 10th annual. Zach Torrance right here in the middle. Or Zane Torrance, I'm sorry. He was our FFA FFA president for a year. John Johnson, the other guy in the gray T-shirt, he's more or less the promoter that's probably been pushing this the last few years. We've done 3 years ago. We actually packed this town into about 7,000 people. It was quite something. There was stuff coming from all over the United States. This year we're going to run. There'll be 19 classes. We're going to feature the 3.6 diesel pickups. 5,000 to win. Winner takes it all. So any of you 3.6 guys out there would be highly appreciated if you want to show up.
Kevin, how many are you taking, Kevin? Or do you have a limit? Are they signing up?
20,
what do you got going on?
20 limit on the truck. We've got anywhere from 10 to 12 that I hope will all show up. So looking for that 6-8 more somewhere in there. $100 to get in, but the winner takes it all. So
got it.
We're going to run the Badger State or the PPL rule, which are both the same. So anybody that's running either one of those groups, bring it on. The pull starts at 5 o'clock that night. The 3.6 truck should pull, I'm going to guess, somewhere around that 7 o'clock area. And then we'll round out the night. The UPA and the IFPA out of Illinois will be here too. They got some bigger farm tractors. They run some pro street pickups. They got some classic mod tractors. And then the Tri-County will be here with the mini rods with all three classes. And I've got we're North Carolina, Kentucky, Illinois, Missouri, South Dakota, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin. So, or Minnesota, I'm sorry. Minnesota. So we ought to have a pretty good crowd of mini rods.
Chuck Hobbs says, don't forget to mention your great mini rod announcer. Are Stacy and John coming down to announce?
Yeah, John, they're both coming. Well, as of yesterday, we're both coming. Yeah, and Chuck's going to help announce. And so is John, and I think Stacy's going to help some too. So, yep.
Awesome. Well, talk to those other guys. Get the camera over there, Kevin.
Yeah, here's two farmers. They're very shy. And by the way, this is a 100% free event. We do not charge anybody to get in. It is cooler friendly, just to say. And you buy all your food from the FFA kids. They will have T-shirts and stuff on sale too. But it's this is all paid for by Nutrien is the head sponsor this year. But it's all paid for by sponsorship. We sell some parking spots, so you can back your truck up and you can watch the whole thing. So it's been pretty good.
You said how many years has this been going on, Kev?
This is the 10th. It's actually, this thing started 40 years ago. and it kind of got dropped for a few years, and then some things happened, and so now it's back in Oquawka, and this is actually the 10th year of this going on right here in town. So, like I said, it is a free event. Nobody is charged, and the kids actually make some pretty good money on this day.
So you said, okay, so starts at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Saturday the 3rd, Oquawka, Illinois.
Yep.
Did you guys spell Oquawka right on the banners? Because I've struggled with Oquawka in the past.
Yes, it is spelled right.
Okay, good.
The 3-6 leader is not spelled correctly.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, but you mini rod guys, I didn't know if you knew what 3-6 meant.
Right here's the guy in charge of that right there.
We all make mistakes.
Oh yeah, yep.
We all make mistakes. Any sponsors, Kevin, or anybody that you want to thank?
Nutrients is one of the biggest ones. I really don't know. I know there's been several others. I couldn't tell you all of them. I think Randall's Performance was in there.
Randall, Scott's Equipment, Subway, Frame, Tri-State Irrigation, Johnson Sod Farms.
We try a lot of our sponsorship is very local. We try to draw all of our local companies that have business here, where advertising for them here plays a beneficial role for them and for us. Basically, I mean, we draw a lot of local sponsorship, I guess, and that it helps us. We try to keep it as down home as we can, but put on the biggest show that we can with our with where we're at, I guess.
Anywhere from $100 to $5,000, and then our title sponsor, Nutrient, they stepped up the plate big time. We got 3 of the Nutrient outfits, but Bigsville is our biggest contributor, and bless their heart, they really stepped up the plate this year. So, we had COVID last year, so so we're really planning on having a big show here Saturday. So just please come for the FFA. That's what it's all about, because all this money goes to the ag room and goes directly to the kids, 100%. So, like I said, there's a lot of people who work hard to put this thing on, and you guys all know in the trucking industry or the trucking world how it works. So, anyway, we just really want to thank everybody and the sponsors, and even our town of Oquawka, just for letting us be able to do it. So, just thank you. Appreciate it.
It takes an army of sponsors and volunteers to put an event on like this to this magnitude. I know you guys don't take gate admission, but what would you say, how many fans can you hold, Kevin, or one of you guys? What's the biggest crowd you think you guys can handle?
3 years ago, I think we could safely say that we turned a town of 1,500 into 7,000.
Good work.
Wow.
They had to close the local Subway because they run out of bread.
Nice.
The local gas stations uptown, both of them right there next to each other, they both know when this event is coming up, and they order extra of certain adult beverages, and they run out every year.
Well, that year that was 3 years ago. Those kids got wrote a check for between $40,000 and $50,000 for that one day.
Nice.
That's impressive.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So does
And we're
that
just trying to
basically fund Kevin? Does the check that they write or that they receive basically fund their operations for the school year?
Yeah. We sent them out. That was the year that they went to Washington, D.C. We sent several of them, and that was all paid for by the alumni because of this.
Yes. We get 5 $1,000 scholarships away. Now we're sending 8 kids to Washington, D.C. each year, and that's around $1,400 a piece now. Supplies the whole ag room. Now we get some other funding, but the local school does not chip in. This is all done through this and through the alumni, and through a few grants we get. But we fund this maybe 100%. So like I said, it takes an army. You're right to take care of this, and we're very proud of the support we get.
So we've done a lot of work with this, and in the past few years, we've been able to basically reconstruct the school's ag shop. In doing so, we've gotten them welders, ventilation systems. We've got them a CNC plasma cutter table with some other cool stuff. And we found that, like in small communities like this, kids coming out of high school going into trades are, I guess, and we want to see kids succeed in that nature because the trades industry is struggling right now in employment, and we want to see guys come out of high school prepared. And I guess we want to give them the best opportunity that we can while they're in high school.
Good for you guys. That is awesome.
Now, these are the success stories that we need to share. Christopher Shirt says one of his favorite pulls of the year. He can't wait to run in the UPA factory turbo class. See you all Saturday. So,
hey, got that factory turbo class explained to me. One of the best rules I ever heard. We were in Taylor, Wisconsin a month ago, and had a driver's meeting, and they said anybody that spools in the factory turbo class, you're automatically disqualified, and you can find the gate. That was one of the best rules I've heard in pulling in many years.
I like it.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, me and Mike Evans looked at each other. It's like, well, that's one of the best rules I've heard in a long time.
So roughly how many hooks are you guys expecting total?
I'll bet we'll be at that 150 to 170 in there somewhere. And the mini rod class, not only the 3.6 trucks is 5 to win. The mini rod classes are $1,000 to win each class. So we should have a pretty good show.
In some of our best years, we've seen just over 200, 220 hooks. Yeah. And
Yeah.
we run 2 sleds side by side, one right after the other, because typically this time of year it's pretty hot. We want to put on one heck of a show, but we don't want to keep everyone there from 5 o'clock until midnight, 1 in the morning.
Yeah, Randall keeps it pumping.
Well, it's only 3 hours and 41 minutes from my house, so.
That ain't that
Well,
fun drive. Come on.
of course, the announcers could use some help there, Schulte.
We'll do what we can.
Okay.
I'll get you a pork chop sandwich. How's that sound?
I like that. That sounds really good. I like pork chops.
Pork chop steak.
Check your flag production is thinking about this one. Ooh, got a photographer coming there. That's a gentleman, Ryan, that was in Paris and Fayette, right?
Yep. Mike and I are good friends. And hey, Mike, if I can put in a plug, go support these guys. They'll take good care of you, I promise.
Mike
And
just
guys,
actually friended me today.
And if Mike comes out, you guys are going to get some of the coolest shots that you've ever gotten. He does a great job on the track, and I swear he has eyes in the back of his head because he gets the best candid shots of anybody I've ever seen in my life.
And just like that, they're gone. Roos was giving him a compliment, and now we're stuck looking at Paul's face.
Oh, man, that's a candid.
Man.
Deal with it.
Well, theoretically, they got the drift. And Mike, if you head over there, safe travels, buddy.
Well, Zolik, can you hear us, buddy?
Yeah.
So talk to us about your Missouri to Toma, how that worked out for you.
Yeah, so I'm only like 40, we're only 45 miles south of Toma. And I ended up driving 900 miles to get there.
You need to maybe check your GPS and see if it's got the right software. There may be a software update available.
Yeah, I think I got a bad faulty GPS. Is someone vacuuming in the background?
I think Sarah's maybe doing Yeah, Sarah's trying to make a little cameo herself.
Oh, the Roomba's probably going.
No, that's
Schultz
not a
is-
Roomba. Roombas don't make that much noise.
Well, they have a Samsung version.
Well, and Lord knows Jason doesn't know how the mute button works. So.
No, not at all.
He does not know how the mute button works in more than one way.
So,
but
Ryan, you got out there. You headed out when? You were on Wednesday, right?
I
Isn't that when
left
when you rolled
Wednesday
out?
afternoon. I left Wednesday afternoon just so that way I could start setting up Thursday for the live stream. And they got
and you didn't stop and let them cook you dinner.
Well, it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I went through Des Moines.
You could have at least said something. Jeez, some people's kids. Anyway, continue.
I was just driving. When I get driving, I don't tend to make too many stops. I'm not like Jason that needs to pee every 2 seconds, or on an off ramp in the middle
of the walnut-sized bladder.
I drink a lot of water. What do you want me to do, guys?
Right,
Captain Small Bladder.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they got like an inch of rain.
You got there Wednesday night.
Yeah. They were, they had all the banners up, the bleacher seats were all installed. I was actually going to start to run the cable, but I'm like, I'll just wait till Thursday morning. So I'm glad I did. Because they got an inch of rain Thursday night, and then when they looked at the predicted rainfall for basically Thursday afternoon into Friday, I think probably all day Friday and into Saturday, it was like at the time up to 6 to 9 inches of rain. So I left at 1:30 Thursday afternoon, and when were those pictures posted? Like Thursday evening?
Yeah,
Like
Ryan, they posted those Thursday the 24th.
Yeah, and I think that was like 5:30 or 6 o'clock that night.
That's where all the pro stocks pitted last year, guys.
Yep.
Right down there off that, all the pros were off there in this area. This like Stuart Mays was right here, and
that's the highest point too, I think.
Yeah, Bryce Terry was right here, and then pro stocks, and wow.
So I think they received like 3 inches within that time span, somewhere in there.
Rain makes corn, corn makes whiskey, but it's not good for tractor pulls.
I think they ended up almost like 12 to 15 inches in that area, if I'm not mistaken.
Look at that, guys. That's insane.
That puts them in a big world of hurt, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I know at one point in time, I think on Friday or maybe it was Saturday, I saw that I-29 had water over the road, so it was closed. I don't know if it's open yet or not. I presume it probably is, but
yeah, because that's definitely a stretch on I-29 that floods a lot too. Like once they get that amount of rain and that short of time span.
Yep, I know Mike French was flooded out again. This has got to be the 3rd or 4th year in a row for him, and he's one exit north of Mound City.
Well, I joked with Waggle. I'm like, apparently you can only put a pole on during a pandemic.
That's true. I'm sure he laughed real hard about that, didn't he?
Yeah. Because this is the second rain out in the last 3 years. So, because in 2019 they were underwater.
Yep.
So pretty much western Missouri was underwater, and eastern Nebraska.
Yeah, that was a rough year. That hurt a lot of farmers.
Yeah.
So then the trip back up, you got back into town, Thursday night sometime?
Yeah, about 10:30 Thursday night. So I was following, so I went up obviously 35 to 90 and then drove across Minnesota. And so it was basically following the rain that was, right there. I could see the thunderheads all the way. I didn't hit rain until about 20 miles to the Wisconsin border. And I was watching the results on, and then they stopped. So, but they, they did get it. Friday they had 2 good sessions on Friday. So, and probably their best track in the last 5 or 6 years up there.
It was awesome.
It was full on power track. Yeah.
Doug Ruth said to me, Jason, I've never seen pro stocks and big mods get bogged down like that.
Yeah, they would literally get to the end of the track and they almost couldn't break their tires loose. It was pulling that hard.
And that's the way Toma was for many years. It was kind of tamed down prior to this year. So it definitely probably fooled a lot of people coming in, because that's the darkest I've seen that track in about 5 or 6 years.
So these are some of my pictures from Friday night, guys. That place, I have never seen the crowd that full on a Friday night up there. Saturday night's always like this, but to have Friday night packed like this was awesome.
Your photo skills kind of surprised me here, Schultz. You had some pretty good shots in here.
He can do random photos.
Yeah, coming from, I don't take compliments well from the peanut gallery on the show here, but I
no, I'm serious. I'm totally serious. When I saw those pictures you posted, I thought, damn, he really did a good job with these.
Well, the 401 class means a lot to me. You guys know that. It's my class. These are my fellow competitors, and I really wanted to be there. And, I can't. I couldn't with my tractor, but I thought I'm going to get there. I'm going to take pictures of my class, and I'm going to try to give them as much publicity as I can. So.
Well, you got some good stuff. There were a couple. There was at least one. There was a picture of John Meyer Jr. at the line that I actually stole and put into Photoshop because I wanted to see what it would look like if I played with it just a little bit. And it was cool. It was cool. You did good work, man. And
thanks. I had a lot of fun.
And that's no BS. That's not me funning with you.
I don't know. I have a decent camera. It's nothing like yours, Roos. I don't know how to use any of the settings. I think I just put it on auto. I'm not going to lie to you. And I started taking photos, but it did a good job. I was pretty happy. I like to, these are pictures that you don't get to see a lot. You know what I mean? From the starting line and stuff like that. So.
Well, as a first-time attendee of the TOMA, I was very impressed with it. It was quite a deal. So one of the cool things is, we are kind of spoiled. We're around a lot of these tractor pullers, even what some people would consider like the biggest names in tractor pulling. I mean, we see them in the pits. We kind of talk with them. And so I get there, and we parked a mile away or wherever it was. Got over to the pit side, and I have to give a shout out to our friends, the Bausmas. Angie, Mike's daughter, me and Misty, we kind of call her our adopted tractor pulling daughter, but they had saved us some seats basically at the full pull mark on the pit side, front row. So we met up with them. We went and got set down, and of course you walk through the gates to where the bleachers and stuff are, and then they card you and they say, if you want a drink, you got to have a wristband. Like, well, you're a TOMA, you're a tractor puller, you're going to have a beer. So I said, all right. Misty and the kids, they went over and they sat down, and I said, I'm going to grab a beer right quick. Misty, you want one? She said, yeah, sure. So the shed is kind of two-sided, I guess you could say. On one end, you can get a beer, and then on the front face, you can get a beer. So I'm standing kind of on the corner. I said, yeah, give me a couple drinks or whatever. And the guy next to me asked for a beer, and I'm sitting there, and I turn and look, and it's Esden freaking Lane. About pissed myself. So then I was standing there, and I was like, I didn't know what to say or didn't know what to do. And the guy on the other side of me around the corner says, yeah, I'll have a beer too. He was talking to Esden. I look, and it's Steve Birch. I swear I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, because, you watch these guys on TV.
You buy him a beer, Paul. You get out your wallet and you buy him a beer.
Exactly what you do.
I was like, they turned, and I mean, it was like it happened so fast, and they turned, and I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, there was a missed opportunity. But That's one of the great things about tractor pulling and a place like Toma is if you get over to the pit side, or even sometimes you can see them on the grandstand side, these guys are walking around. Tractor pulling is some of the most accessible to quote unquote the heroes of the sport. I mean, these guys, who is that guy right there in the black and white shirt? He pulls a John Deere.
No, that's Bill. He runs with Bill Smith. That's Dick Ruff, Mark Ruff. He runs around with Bill Smith, who pulls Badger State. But he's driven the tractor before.
Yes. So that was another thing that after all that, I went and sat down, and I happened to be talking to some guys right next. I just struck up a conversation, and it was the guys from the Mother's Nightmare.
Yep, Lenarudes.
Yep. Yes. So I sat down and talked to them essentially the entire class, and like we had known each other forever. And it was an awesome atmosphere. You got everybody there. You're just walking by, and I'm sitting there. And one of the other guys that I've always wanted to see and never seen in person was Marcus Wedelson. And that guy walked past us so many times, going back and forth. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Marcus Wedelson. The next morning, Saturday morning, when we were at Denny's, we were sitting there, and here comes everybody's waiting to figure out what's going on. Well, here comes the Spiegelbergs and Marcus Wedelson, and they waved, and I was like, hey, how's it going? I mean, it was very cool to just be around, a place like that where the atmosphere was unbelievable. And like I said, I didn't know if that was regular Toma or if that was just a one-off deal, but the stands were absolutely packed, and everybody was right there. My probably favorite pull of the weekend, there's a close one there, but I have to say Hoffman. Is it Hoffman?
Yep, Nathan Hoffman.
Oh my God! When he did that, he dropped and came back. He drove that thing like he knew exactly where he wanted to go, and it started pulling so hard to the left. I thought, oh man, he's gonna be flirting with that line, and he stayed in that thing and got to the end, and he threw his hands up. I mean, he knew he won, and everybody went nuts. It was an absolute awesome pull. The number 2 pull would, in my opinion, have to be Brandon Simon, making it look easy with that pro stock.
They ran that left side. Nobody touched it all night.
He pulled a Masterson.
Yep,
he did.
Yeah.
And we went over to the hauler because Jordan was over there. They had all 3 2-wheel drive trucks there. Never got them out of the trailer once. But I actually ended up in Farley, Iowa on Sunday morning, and went over and kind of toured around with him. But we were talking to him after Brandon got off track, and somebody, I don't know who it was, somebody asked him, which one do you like to drive better? And he said, whichever one wins. I'm like, man, you made it look really easy. I mean, that front end was up and he was gone.
That's a Simon family answer if there ever was one.
Yes. And I mean, it was just, they carried the front end. I was really impressed with the mini rod class. I would have liked to see more unlimiteds. And that's the other thing. People are just dogging on the numbers and stuff. One of the things that people don't talk about is, and I talked to a couple, 3 different pullers, and they all kind of said basically the same thing as far as why numbers were down in some classes. One of the things that people don't think about is, and I'm not trying to get political, but some of these businesses that, these guys have, they're having to work more hours because they can't get people. They've either lost people that are not working or whatever. But I know one national level puller who shall remain nameless that said the reason they're not out as much as they would like to be is because they're so busy and they've lost people. They can't find help. They've got to stay home and they've got to work. I mean, if they can't keep the businesses going that support the pulling, then guess what? They ain't going to be pulling. But just for one session Friday night, that's the only one we got to see. I watched the other live streams. I'd go back again in a heartbeat. Absolutely. Just a great, great place.
Yeah, I guess, and Jason as well, we're lucky that I've been going there my whole entire life. So I've seen like a lot of changes there, even in just my lifetime.
Yeah.
Do you guys know this comment? What's this? What's Jeremy talking about? What's going on? What's this one? Do you guys read anything about it?
I
It
didn't.
must not be on pull off then.
No.
I don't know what happened.
I have not heard anything about that either.
See, there's another one.
Jeremy Susan. Oh, hello, Jeremy Lee Rushing. Oh, that's one of the hookers that trolls our show. So that's how we hit the old block button. I'll fix old Jeremy Susan.
He was DQ'd and banned from TNT.
Bruce left and came back.
Huh.
Sorry,
I'm trying to think in a diesel truck class, what must have been a turbo issue, I'm guessing.
Jerry's saying supposedly banned him. I don't know. I didn't read anything about it.
It'd have to be a turbo issue in that class.
But aren't 3.0 trucks everywhere?
I know, but I'm saying they must have teched his turbo, and I don't know. Must
A little sloppy or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying. That's the only thing I could think of.
Did you guys see Lance Little's shirt?
Yeah.
I love a good dump.
Nice.
It says Roos can chime in now. Do you know anything about it, Roos?
Who said I can chime in?
I don't. It must be one of our admins. Okay, says he went out of bounds. He disagreed. I don't know the details. Mankey's pass on Friday was no slouch either. Hey, Chad.
Collins.
Oh, I fed the boys some Jer juice, Jerry, and I gave your number out to a few people. Okay.
I went the other way when you said you were going to get it.
Let's do this one by one. Okay, Wayman, let's go see what he's got on his Facebook page. Because if it's on Facebook, it has
well,
to
I guess
be.
if you're disagreeing with the officials, then that's probably not going to be a good thing for the driver.
Let me see here. Unshare, stop, remove.
And while you guys are talking about that, the Todd Dugan 1-2 finish for the Diesel Supers at Toma was a pretty impressive feat as well.
Yeah. Okay, I'm almost to Wayman's. Give me a second, guys. Okay, here's Jason's website, Megatron. He is saying that we snuck down to Kentucky this weekend for a couple hooks. Temple Hill, Kentucky tonight. Update, we've now been permanently banned for life from TNT Association. I've never had a single disqualification in my life. Let it be alone, told that me or my truck are no longer welcome with an association. So you get a picture. Okay. Had a great pass in Temple Hill, Kentucky, but disqualified me for going out of bounds. So there's a picture of the truck inbounds, it appears, right, guys? Can you see that?
Well, is he going up a knoll?
Let's say, is it the end of the track?
It must be a short track. I don't know. This right tire would be I don't know. Can you guys see my mouse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. That must be a short track. Where were they at? Temple Hill?
Yeah, I think they yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, from the comments, it looks like he went down there and pulled the thing like Wayman can do.
Well, I'm guessing the flag guy said he went out of bounds, and I don't know.
Well, we're gonna let the flag guy sort it out.
Yeah, that's.
I'm guessing he argued and.
Hold on, I want to make sure I got the sound. So this is Collins' winning run.
I saw this video
from shoot, I lost it. Sometimes I suck at this Facebook thing, guys. Let's see here. From Thursday night.
By the way, doesn't that make Colin the only two-time winner of the 540 Light Pros at Toma?
I think he's watching, so he should know. We'll see what he pops up here in a second. So that's what 363 looks like in Toma, guys.
What was the start of the track like? Because Colin left kind of soft. Did you have to? Was there not a lot of bite when he hooked?
So I don't know what it was on Thursday, but Friday night they ran 30-some 4-1s on that side.
30, and the starting line went away.
It went away bad, and the mods found out in a hurry.
Well, so I was down at the starting line, Paul, the whole night on Friday night, and they came down with the grader. I watched Joe Ader and Chuck Knapp and those guys walk out there, and there was just had to be, just from time 34 ones pounded on it.
Yep.
They brought the grader out and tried to bring it back up to level.
Yep. And they're
for the unlimited class.
I was surprised they didn't run the unlimiteds ahead of the 4-1s just for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they tend to do, is run them first, because that gives them a chance at the best track.
Yeah. And you could tell that even as the mod class went on, it was just getting worse and worse, because as they were going, they were hopping, and I mean, they were just chunking that starting line up, and it got pretty wicked for some of those guys on the line.
Yeah, and if they don't get a good hole shot, there's enough of a slope on the tracks, if you notice, because they put that on there for the rain, the runoff when it gets wet. So but it will pull them really bad if they can't get a good hole shot.
Yep. Yeah, they did that. Corzine's had a good weekend. The Corzine team out of Illinois.
So I was down at the starting line. This is the polar air. Look at the steam, or I guess the cold air induction. It's just awesome coming off those blower hats. That was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get it good as the pictures I wanted to. Once it got dark, I think that's when my real rookieism kind of came through, guys. So, but I had fun. I had fun being down there. So
you kept taking pictures without the flash, right?
Probably.
Then you did it right.
That one's okay. That one's pretty cool.
I'm sure many of the pullers appreciated you walking around with a camera, like Craig.
Well, they're all like, oh, good, this is going to be everywhere. I said, well, duh. I had a media pass. What do you guys want me to do?
Yep. No, like I said, I was really surprised. There's some really good pictures in there.
This was funny. Robbie saw me when he's just like, what's up, Schultz? I'm like, I'm just taking pictures, buddy. You're my hero. So he thought that was funny. So
I kind of like the one that you got of Doug Ruth sitting in the seat.
Yeah.
I tagged his wife in that one. I think she's going to want that one.
Well, that was one of those, Jason, you could just see the look on his face. Jason, no. We don't need to be doing this. We had a good time. It was Sean Work. I've become pretty good friends with him the last couple of years at Gordyville and stuff. And Ryan's got some really good photos of his picture in the past. But here's that one of Doug that Ryan's talking about. He's like, really, Schultz?
That's a great picture.
So I'm candid there. He said, Jason, now I know why you love Toma. He goes, this place is awesome. And it's super unfortunate for Mountain City. Because we all love Mountain City on the show, and we all love Toma. But it brought up, there's probably 8 limited pros that came up because Mountain City was canceled. And then, Denny Brown came up, and the Simons came up. And when I think of Toma is, that's where you see your heroes. When I was a little kid, I remember, and I would like Paul talking about getting all excited, at the beer stand with Esden Lane. I remember following the 20 mule team on the on-ramp up the interstate, and you would have thought I just won the lottery when I was like 18 years old, guys.
Yep.
It was the coolest thing ever. I drove past them, and I'm like waving. I'm like, holy cow, Dickerson, the 20 mule team. It's like, it was so cool. So.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I'll be able to get there.
You're standing there and you just look around in the pits and you're like, oh, there's that tractor I saw on TV. Oh, there's that one I've been watching in some form or fashion. It's just, like I said, and that's what makes it really cool. And one of the other cool things that I didn't get a chance to do, but I wanted to. So, of course, it's raining all day, and we had some not so great windshield wipers on Misty's car. So Saturday morning after we got done at Denny's, I pulled into the local Advanced Auto Parts, and went in there and I asked the lady, I said, I need some windshield washer or windshield wipers for 2019 Buick Enclave. So she looks it up and she says, how's your day going, sir? It's a younger gal. And I said, oh, it'd be a lot better if it quit raining. She goes, yeah, I hear that. I said, I'd like to see this tractor pull. She goes, are you part of the poll? And I said, well, I'm just here to watch. I said, did you go? She goes, I went last night for the first time ever. I said, you went to Toma for the first time? Me too. She goes, no, this is the first time I've ever been to a tractor pull. I'm like, oh, really? She said, yeah. She goes, it was just the coolest thing. She goes, those big tractors with all the big things in front. She goes, you can feel that when they go down the track. And I said, oh, yeah. And she goes, those semis. She said, I just saw them. I didn't get to see them run, but she said, I really want to watch them. And I said, well, if everything goes, you might get to see them tonight. And she's like, I just want to sit on one. I said, oh, really? She said, yes, I would love to I don't care what it is. I just want to sit on one. I said, here's the deal. I said, I'm going to give you my business card. I said, if this thing goes tonight, I want you to text me because my cell phone number's on there. And I said, I'll get you in the seat of one of those tractors. Of course, I didn't think about it, thinking that all the 4-1s were going to leave because I was thinking, I'll just set them on Bausma's tractors or something because they're perfectly fine with it. But I thought, Schultz will be around somewhere. We'll find somebody to get her on. But she'd never been. Of course, she was working at Advanced Auto Parts. She lived in Toma. She'd never been to a tractor pull, let alone Toma. And she was just like blown away by it. And of course, I threw in a shameless plug. I said, well, check out Beer Money. She might even be watching tonight. But she's like, I took videos with my cell phone and shared it to all my friends. I'm like,
that's what we need, though. That's what we need.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Yeah, it was just, like I said, for all the rain and everything and all the negative crap you see on there about them having to cancel and what time they canceled and everything, I thought, damn, I would go back there tomorrow.
All right. So we all agree Toma was awesome for the sessions they had, and I don't care about the rest of the crap. So it's all good. I love good pulling, and that was a heck of a track, and I got to see some of my heroes, and that always makes me smile. So
yep. I know. I got to see Jason Schultz.
You need to reevaluate your heroes.
We should do a shout out to the Grinch.
Yeah.
He won the weekend.
Yeah, he did.
Kara swore up and down that was Jason. She's like, what is Jason doing in a Grinch costume?
I hope that Grinch.
That's the second craziest guy in Wisconsin.
I hope he had an air conditioner in that suit because he was roasting in there.
Shannon Nelson is the second craziest guy behind Jason Schultz.
So, Roos, tell me about this pull in Manila. You said it was quite an event.
It was very much an event. We've talked about we've talked about pulls where the entire town comes out. This is one of them. That picture doesn't show it very well, but
this is 1:30 in the morning right now. This picture.
Wow.
Yeah, that's 1:30 in the morning, and if you saw the end of her pass, there would have been 150 people that you could have made out in the background on the other side of the track, standing there. They didn't move the entire night. The show was slated to begin at 6 p.m. sharp. Well, that didn't happen. Not for lack of trying, but because it was raining. We dealt with rain all afternoon. And, big shout out to Jeff Sievertson and his crew. They had that track as prepped as they possibly could for the weather that was coming in. And we kept on getting these little bitty showers, not like full blown, downpour or anything like that, but just spitting a little bit. And so every time that happened, you push back the start a little bit because we got to, kind of turn it over and keep working it and try and, do what we can. And
Ryan, I was watching the live stream on outlawpulling.tv, and Ron kept saying, I know it's raining, but there's nothing on the radar.
Yeah, and that's true. But we got started around 7:15, 7:30. Started with the 3200 Superfield class, or 8700 pro field, 3,200 RPM, etc. Ran those guys through, and about a third of the way through the class, we had to call it for a rain delay. It was getting too slick. Motors were starting to buzz, and didn't want to do any damage. And so we pulled them. We pulled it, and right after that, out comes the big rainbow. I've never seen Jason go to that photo, that rainbow photo. I've never seen a rainbow that vivid in my entire life, and I'm 42 years old. I've never seen anything like it. And there's a double. You can see the double in the photo. But look at that crowd. That's just part of the crowd down there. You couldn't wade through that line to get to the beer tent or to the food or anything. I mean, it was shoulder to shoulder. And that town and all the people from around that town came because they were there to have a good time, and they were there to watch some pulling, and by God, that's what they were going to do. And they didn't care that we waited, because we waited for probably another hour and 15 minutes because they ripped up the track, scraped it and tore it up and built a new one, albeit a little skinnier track this time around. That's why when you flip through some of my photos, it looks like there's tractors driving in and out of dirt piles, because they scraped probably 10 inches off of that track, and they piled it up, and there wasn't anywhere for it to go. Got started, ran the 85 the Pro Stock 4x4s. Had 17 of them, and then moved on from there. Then I think we went to Light Supers, where Mark Ulmer put a hurting on literally everybody, including himself.
That's a tough tractor.
Which one?
The one that they just showed.
No, the answer to your question is yes.
Yeah.
That. Because Mark went out with the weapon, and he put a 386-foot pass on the board. That track was real tacky. And we probably could have done with one more weight in the box, but, we'd already gotten started, and it was going to be okay. And so Mark put 386 on the board with the diesel light super, and then came back around at the end of the class with Eleanor, and he went 404, I think. 402, 404, 406, enough to make the girls at the trailer at the end of the track real nervous. He was close to the Jersey barriers, but both of those tractors they hook. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mark and Eleanor hold the record for the longest pass in outlaw recorded history at like 464 feet.
Goodness,
something just utterly ridiculous, and it's just because both of those tractors will just squat and they will hook. Just amazing to watch, and the crowd just went bonkers. So, trying to think of other highlights. Diesel Supers, we were supposed to have 3, we only had 2. Shout out to Jeff and Tab and the Smoking Hot Deer crew. They came out, but they were still having issues with their clutch that they couldn't quite fix. So they did drive all the way over, but they ultimately couldn't end up making a pass. But you think it was Tyler Beckman. Tyler made a nice pass with his, and here's that. Go ahead and play that, Jason.
Which one?
Blue one.
Mark Ulmer's pass with
back to
the blue tractor.
Oh, I'm gonna have good luck finding that again. He was the last one in the class, Brian.
Yeah, he was the last one in the light super class.
Now, is this where Taylor made his pass?
Yeah, I'm trying to find that too.
Yeah,
He won.
That was a shot.
There you go, right there. So back it up a little, 20 seconds, and you got it. There you go.
I called Taylor and I were talking today. And I congratulated him on his win. He goes, well, it was just Tyler and I, but he goes, I know. I said, Taylor, it's a win that you got your tractor down the track, and it's all good. Yeah. So he was very happy.
Yeah, because he didn't get it to light in Dubuque, correct?
Correct. Yeah. The bottom charger, the base charger was a little loose, and it wasn't amping it up enough. So
well, he lit them all. He lit them all this time, and you could see it in that photo that I posted today.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what his EGTs actually were.
1900 on 2 cylinders, but the rest of them he wasn't worried about.
19's a touch high.
You think that's where that candle came from?
Mm-hmm.
But he got him to light, and that thing came to life, and it made a heck of a pass. It was a good pass. Now, see, we didn't figure that Mark was going to hook up. And then watch. Right there, he poured the coals to it.
And he's hanging up.
It just kept going.
That's awesome.
I wish the cameraman had gone just a little bit wider there, because then you could see how close he was.
Whose light super is that? Is that Zolik probably knows?
That used to be Brian Bowles' tractor, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Yeah, that's probably correct. Before he built the
before he went to the alter ego.
When did the diesel supers pull? Were they at the end, Ryan?
They were not at the end of the night. They were before the 4-1s.
Okay, they're putting weights in, or maybe that's diesel.
Putting weights in. They reweighted the sled on the 80 or on the 4-1s.
Got to show Taylor's pass. I got to take care of my title sponsor, guys.
Well, especially since you made fun of him.
He sent me that video Friday night in Toma. He starts calling me, and I was still videoing out the start. Like, Jason, he goes, I just got the best video ever. You're going to love it. So
Sorry,
Ryan,
back it up to before the 4x4s. They might have been before the Pro Mod 4x4s.
Well, there's the Jeep.
Bruce, do you know how many actually made the trip from Toma?
It looks like Roos went out there.
Roos were there. Jerry and Connie were there.
Jerry and Connie wasn't in Toma.
Oh, they weren't?
No.
Okay.
Yep, there it is. So you're at the end of it.
Brian Deck came over.
Yeah.
He was in Toma.
Yep.
Trying to think. That might. Oh, and then Smoking Hot Deer. I mean, they didn't pull, but they showed up.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't get off the line Thursday night either.
Yeah, and well, they did get halfway down the track at home on that test pass, but it didn't. It wouldn't hold for them.
So this is Tyler Beckman from Waverly, Iowa, with the Boring Green John Deere Diesel Super Stock.
So when they tore up that track and they rebuilt it, and they did the best that they could. I mean, there were some holes there, and definitely not, a track that Jeff and the crew want to be remembered for. But the level of effort to get that show off, I can't name 5 other promoters who would have said, no, Katie, bar the door, we're going pulling tonight after we got rain in the very first class. So I say hats off to those guys. They did a whale of a job. The crew, they did an amazing job with what they had to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd responded. They stuck around. 1:30 in the morning when they brought in some local semis who wanted to make passes. Crowd's still there. Probably 75% of the crowd was still there. And the goal was to drink the beer truck dry. Pretty sure they did. And the beer truck was loaded for bear that night. It was fuller than it had ever been. Jeff told me he ordered 320 cases of beer, I think. And I think he said he had 100 in reserve. And the truck was pretty well dry by the time the show concluded. So, and, you know, Jeff and his team as promoters, they don't take any money for this. The firemen's or the volunteer fire department takes the proceeds off of that. We probably funded their entire training budget for this year with that show. And I'll get on my soapbox a little bit. That's why, as fans, you come and support these small shows. That's why, as pullers, it's important that you support these small shows, even if it's out in the middle of nowhere where you have zero cell reception like me. You go to those shows because you make a very tangible difference.
Sounded good.
They didn't have as good a sound in Manila on the live stream as they did as White, right?
So is this the first time Taylor's had his lit since Dubuque?
Yeah, and Dubuque he didn't get it lit, so
yeah, I watched it that night when you were going.
This is his brand new motor and the new 4 turbos. So
this is a new chassis for him too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically the sheet metal is the same. That's about it. So
yep,
and the wrap's a little different too.
Yeah, he basically said that when there's a small fire when he goes up the track, if you look under above the side shield, above the hood, he said it was just a little oil fire on the manifold. Really couldn't tell where it was, so nothing crazy. But he said that's why she was smoking like a sieve. So
made for a neat effect in the pictures.
Oh yeah. But he said everything checked out okay, so he was in a good mood. Now their next hook will be Rock Valley. So if you look right about, you can see a little yellow right there.
Right there.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
Just some to roast the hot dogs.
Yep. So that's why diesel supers are awesome. And when Travis Schlaball went 369 in Toma, that was awesome. So
yeah, I bought the live stream Thursday night, Toma. And of course, it only got 2 classes in, but then I was like, well, at least I got to see some pulling anyway. And then the next morning I got an email saying, hey, they didn't run half the class, so you've got a coupon where you get to watch any other session. Just use this coupon code. So we had the Friday afternoon session playing as we were driving up. So I got to see all of it, I guess you could say.
I like it a lot.
But I do want to say a quick thank you to Chris Wagle. He did come through. I did have a room. I did get the last room reserved for me at Mound City. I called him Tuesday morning, and he said, I got one room left, and he said, I put your name on it. So thank you, Chris, for that.
Yeah, he was watching the show last Monday night. And that's what, Ryan, we saw the positive of a Manila crowd and what that meant to that community. But like we're in Mound City, once a year they have a big event like that, and then Mother Nature just says, nope, not this year. And that's just so disappointing. So.
It is.
But and we needed the rain. Most everybody needed the rain, other than at a polling facility.
Right.
Some places got way more than what they need. I know there was some interstate I-55 in Illinois where it actually washed part of the interstate away. They had to close some of it indefinitely until they get that fixed. But yeah, there was a lot of big rain. For the rains that the polls had, there was a lot of places that had a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, just south of Toma and just to the southwest of where we live in the Crawford County area, which has had numerous flooding events in the last 10 years. They received about 12 inches of rain this last weekend. And Highway 35, which runs along the Mississippi River, and we have the hills and valleys. And it's not unusual for it, but it had to be shut down because there was a landslide that closed part of the road down because of the amount of rain in a short period of time. I think Toma ended up receiving about 3 or 4 inches total, from what I've seen. So, and it
Yeah,
varies. If you go down to Madison, they receive 2 tents over the weekend.
Yeah,
that's like an hour south.
Yeah,
Crazy.
so it really varied a lot.
Yeah. I actually, as I was driving, we drove south out of Toma. We took the fastest route to Farley, and I saw a lot of signs said Richland Center this way and Viroqua that way. And
yeah,
we stopped at Boscobel at the Quick Trip. Yes,
Oh,
Clark.
you pronounced it right.
Oh yes, I've heard it announced on here. But Clark Oltman's is commenting on here. He's in the Lincoln, Illinois area. They were some of the hardest hit with the rain. Lots of rain in a short amount of time. So hopefully they don't have too much damage over there. They've had I think it was 15. I think it was. Maybe they got a bunch of rain up there too. So they have a pull up there.
Jason, thank you for letting this one run. This was the Grizzlies' first or second, maybe third trip down the track since Randy passed away. Phil Kenny, his motor builder and mechanic and crew chief, has been doing the driving, and did my heart good to see that truck going down the track again. And it was good to see Tammy there. Of course, Tammy used to work with me at Tractor Zoom for a while, and now she's on staff with the Outlaws, and so it was good to see her again, and it was good to see the Grizzly out there. And Grizzly ended up taking, I think, third place in that Pro Stock 4x4 class. They ended up reweighting the sled, I believe, and I know Phil turned down his hook. So no, they didn't reweight it, but he turned down his hook, I think, and came back, and he put like 372 on the board, and two other people came out and put a bigger hurting on it, but he made a good pass, and the Grizzlies still got a little bit of Randy in it, which made me happy. I've been taking pictures of that truck for years.
That was neat. I'm glad you did that. Adam Drought sent me a text message. He saw the donation that the Beer Money Pulling Team sent in to his ride for a cause, and I said whenever he wants to come on the show, he's welcome any night, and he said he'd really love to do that. He said thank God for these live streams, because he said he's going crazy not being able to go to polls. So that was nice. We kind of chatted back and forth today on text. I told him, I said, everybody likes you and everybody appreciates you, and we're all wishing you the best across the polling community. So
Amen. Got my donation put in today.
Last time I checked, I think when I put the donation in from Beer Money
this morning, it was almost $9,800.
Yeah.
And they're shooting for 15, correct?
15 is what the goal is right now. And they were saying, what was it early? Initially, it was only like 2,500 or 3,000, 5,000, something like that.
Yeah, they blew through that in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, that guy's done a lot for the sport, just like
yes, he has.
Many people have.
10,000 so far.
Nice. So. That's awesome. 4-1s. Daly ended up, or Daly made
second
of a pass. Ended up second, and
she's second in the points right now, right?
Yeah, she moved into second in the points. Tanner Michael took the win, but Tanner's not running outlaw points, so it didn't hurt Daly's points total.
She's coming on tomorrow night. We'll have her on Outlawed with Ron Stone at 7:00. It'll be live on Outlaws and Beer Money here, and I know she's pretty excited about coming on. Ron's been trying to bring the Outlaws have a whole bunch of young guns. Ron's calling them a lot of young pullers, really under 20, and they're doing very well. They got good equipment to drive. That helps. But they're doing a really nice job driving it. So I want to thank everybody that stopped by the Beer Money Pulling Team booth in Toma and spent some of their hard-earned money. We had quite a few shirts up there. The website will be back up in a day or two. I need to get everything inventoried so we don't sell stuff we don't have, but we met a lot of people, and Saturday would have been awesome because Saturday in Toma, and Zolik knows it's packed, just absolutely packed.
And I will say, everywhere I turned, someone either had a hat or a shirt on. Like
we sold
Friday night when I was, walking around.
Well, I mean, it's Wisconsin, and this is where we started this thing, and that's why I really, 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 really wanted my tractor there, but it just didn't happen, and that's okay. It's meant to be, so it's meant to be.
Yeah, I wish I could have been there.
I don't know about getting you a pass, Ryan. I have no idea how to do that. I'm not even gonna pretend. So
Yeah, I will throw this out there. If somebody from the Monroe County Ag Board wants to holler at me, I would really appreciate an answer to the question that I asked about what the process actually is to get media credentials. I asked it, but I never heard a response. So
yeah, they were pretty tied up.
yeah, I figured. I mean,
once the event started,
it wasn't. Yeah, certainly wasn't the right time to ask. But given the circumstances, they get a pass. But I would like to hear from somebody.
It was just good. It'd been nice to have you in Toma, Ryan, but I'm glad you're in Manila because it's important that we have our faces in many different spots of the country as we can, and that's why the page has so many editors and admins on it. So we really truly can touch, literally. I mean, all of them, almost. You know what I mean? So,
Yep. Nobody would have gotten a picture of Mark had I not been there.
Yep.
Well, that's not true, because I did end up shooting that poll with Cody Vanderholm, which Cody's a good friend. We've been friends for 2 years, and I'm telling you guys, and I'm saying this on camera, dude can shoot the lights out. He can outshoot me with one hand tied behind his back and the other around a half-consumed bottle of Jack. The guy has so much talent. Promoters, if you are out in central western Iowa and you need somebody for a show, you need to look up Vanderholm Media because Cody does an amazing job. He has a better eye than I do. The stuff that he turns out is just gorgeous, just amazing. So give him a phone call, look him up, and, book him for your next poll. He's pretty reasonable. He does this because he loves it, and, he's not out to make a fortune off of this. This is the side hustle. So make it worth his while, and let's get him on the polling track a little bit more because he captures some pretty darn good memories.
I'll throw Vanderholm Medium up in the comments for everybody, right?
Yeah, please do.
Go ahead.
Please do. Des chatted with him most of the night, I think. Well, at least through the 4-1 class.
Good deal. Well, guys, that's
you've never met him, have you? Or did you meet him at Mound City last year?
I don't remember. I probably would have met him. So
well, we're gonna get him at the Iowa State Fair this year. So I'll make sure to introduce the two of you.
That would be great.
Oh, also got to see the newly redone Hampton Hooker.
Yeah, side piece.
Yeah, the side piece. It's sharp. It's a good looking tractor. It was good looking as the Hampton Hooker, but George did something a little different with the graphics, and they are about as you think they are. And I've got a photo coming, and it's cool. Tractor ran hard too. Not quite as hard as this one. Doug Ruth, it was funny. Dee told me just before he hooked, just before 4-1 started, she's like, we just cannot get that tractor to hook. And then Doug pulls up to the line. He's first off, and I think he made it past like 387 feet. The tractor hooked really, really well. And then they reweighted the sled, and it was what it was.
Brenton, I'm putting that link right now into the comments and to donate to Adam's cause. It just went over right now.
I'm telling you, 4-1 guys, don't sleep on Daley Paulson, because I will tell you something. This girl has ice in her veins. Nothing rattles her. I asked her if she was nervous, just making small talk before the show, and she's like, No. Like, and it was answered in that, no, you moron. Why did you bother asking that question? So, don't sleep on her. She'll bring her A game every time. I guarantee it.
Good stuff. Well, guys, I'm tapped out for tonight. I don't have anything else. Does Zolik or Romac or Roos have anything else?
Nope, nothing more from me.
Nope.
Zolik, where are you going to be next, bud?
Next event will probably be Jefferson, Wisconsin. I don't know if I'm going to go anywhere this weekend. Might go down to Platteville for a tri-state show, but otherwise Jefferson, Wisconsin next Wednesday night, July 7th. Jefferson County Fair for Badger State will be the next. Probably I'll be.
You have the scoreboard down there?
Yeah, so it's actually getting wrapped right now in Indianapolis. So it'll be wrapped when it makes its trip back up to Wisconsin.
Nice.
Ryan, are you headed to Iowa after that?
I haven't decided because if I go out, it'll only be Thursday. So I plan on going to Lancaster, and then we have a July 10th. We have Edgerton, Wisconsin for Badger State. So it just all depends on how much driving I want to do in the next couple weeks.
You are headed to Lancaster?
Yeah, my plan is to go down to Lancaster. It's not very far for me to go to Lancaster Convention Center. So
Hey, do me a favor while you're there. Introduce yourself to Matt Karstens. He's one of my teammates. He's coming up. We're sponsoring that show, and we're handing out trophies in a couple of classes.
at Lancaster.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Jeff's show, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's headed up there with his family. So, go tell him, go tell him hello and buy him a beer or something like that. He's very responsive to Busch Light. So
okay, yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty of that on the ground.
I figured
Friday.
And I'll tell him to look for you.
Yep. Yeah. So that's my plan next week. Is I don't know if we'll get to Rockwell, but Lancaster and Edgerton that week, so that'll be 4 days in a row. So it just all depends.
I'm going to wrap up the show with some video from Wright, Texas, and they said it's the biggest crowd they've ever had. So that's exciting.
They had to start turning people away because it was elbow to elbow and it was getting unsafe.
Wow.
Is there anybody else who still does a track like this with a big grassy median in the center that you guys can think of?
I can't think of any.
They wind these things for everything they're worth.
Bowling Green is kind of wide, but not that wide in the middle.
2 weeks ago up in Nebraska.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I mean, it's not as wide, but like there is, I think, more. It's one of the few that have quite a bit of space in between. I think I could be wrong too. I don't.
I told Dave Nelson that I want to do. I said we need to find more tracks that do something like this because I want to stand in the center and shoot. Be able to get both tracks that way.
There's not very many places that is that wide.
Yeah,
that's the.
I was bouncing between Manila and Whitewright, and the mods had a heck of a time down there in Whitewright. This is a Saturday night show, so. But well, guys, Paul, where are you going to be this weekend?
I'm taking a weekend off.
Gonna
Nothing going, but we're trying to get ours back together. We've made some changes already, and a week from Wednesday, I will be in the driver's seat at Fisher. So
nice.
First time on the new toy.
Nice.
Okay. Roos, what about you?
I think I'm going to try and sneak down to Burlington Junction for Brad's show.
Okay, how far is that from you?
Maybe 2.5.
Okay.
Ish. We'll see. If not, I might go to Clearfield. I've been to Clearfield probably the last 4 or 5 years in a row, but I've never been to the Junction. And
Do they have a hillside? Is that the one at the hillside, Ryan?
Sort of. They've got a hillside on the north side of the track, but basically everybody brings their lawn chairs or sets up on goosenecks and stuff like that. It's a neat show.
Yeah.
And then the week after that is North Iowa Nationals week. So we'll get Tim on, and Tim and Caleb, if we can grab them both, that'd be great. And talk to those guys, and then I'll be up there on Thursday with Posh, and we are going to do a podcast after at least one of the sessions, and it's going to be a free for all, no scheduled format, no script. But we're going to circulate the word around and see if we can't get a few pullers to stop by for a beer. And, if fans want to stick around and pop in and, say hello to some of their favorite drivers or something like that, maybe we can get some, some storytelling. That's what we'd really like to do. Get some good stories out of some people, from back in the day. So
that's a good idea.
And
I like it.
I may well put a camera on it, and if I have signal, maybe go live for a little bit of it.
Cool.
So, kind of keep your eyes peeled for that, and obviously, fans, if you're joining us and you're camping for the weekend, make sure you've got your camping site. I know they still have a few left. I think it's $250. Gets you your campsite and 2 wristbands, good for the entire weekend. You walk right through the pits to get to the track from where you're staying, and it's pretty legit setup. So, but yeah, we're looking forward to another good show.
Sounds good. Well, I'm going to kick you guys off. Zolik, Ryan, Paul, thanks for sticking with me, and I'm going to let some White Texas play for a little bit. So,
all right,
cool beans.
See you guys
Later on, y'all.
See you.
ya.
Started life as a diesel like you would see in a school bus or a combine. Donald got it. Had a custom head made for it. Drilled, tapped it for spark plugs, put 3 turbos on it, put it on alcohol, and now he's out here pulling outlaw modifieds. Donald Nelson calls it the Texas Bullwhip. Cheer him on. Distance for Donald on the Texas Bullwhip, 278 and 75, 278 and 75. Your current leader still sitting at 292 and 40. That's going to be the Cotton Candy tractor. Over on our Super Farm class, got the final competitor coming to the sled. Going to be Laddie, a tractor called a Gray Area out of Hubbard, Iowa. Tommy had a Gray Area tractor, had a team tractor out here earlier, the turbo up. They're going to try to take that run that he made, learn a few things from it, see what they can do about that 328.44 sit down by Dakota Deer. Cheer him on here, the last puller in our Super Farm class. Tommy Platty calls it a Gray Area out of Hubbard, Iowa. Oh, look at that pass laid down by that tractor. Distance for Tommy going to be 290 and 64. 290 and 64 for the John Deere he calls a gray area. Get you a rundown here. Number 8, going to be the tractor that just ran, a gray area at 290 and 64. Number 7 was Spanky's Toy at 291 and 40. Number 6 was Turbo Up at 292.97. Number 5, going to be the Red Rock out of Rock Valley, Iowa at 300.63. Number 4 will be the tractor of Chad Weisenkamp, the International called Someday at 368. Number 3, the Bruley Buck out of Beersford, South Dakota at 304.92. Number 2, Burning Bucks out of Pilger, Nebraska at 310 and 11. And the winner, Alan Andrews on Dakota Deer out of Beersford, South Dakota, 328 and 44. John Deere takes 1, 2, 3 in the Super Farm class. Make some noise for him, John Deere people. We're going to pull a weight out of that sled. We'll get into the diesel pickups over on the modifieds out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is Sonny Martinez. He calls the tractor Mexican. Got 3 Chevrolets on it. Sonny runs a foot throttle, which is kind of uncommon in the world of pulling. If I'm not mistaken, the only one here tonight doing so except some of the diesel pickups. Foot throttle on the modified, called the Mexican. Cheer him on, the man out of New Mexico. He comes a long way to pull for you. Sonny Martinez, Mexican. Sonny getting a little bit of a bounce in there, going to hurt the distance. That bounce definitely hurting the distance for Sonny, coming in at only 267 and 17. 267 and 17 for the tractor from New Mexico. Get underway here with this diesel pickup class. These diesels run a 2.6 with a map groove in it, or a 3-inch smoothbore turbo, third choice. Dual wheels on it. Give Sonny a round of applause as they're pulling him down the track here. Tell him you love him. Tell him thanks for coming and pulling for you. Man's been here every year for as long as I can remember.